Hello and welcome back to Sequel Pitch. We're back. Yeah!
Yay!
It's the podcast where film loving friends watch a movie that doesn't have a sequel and then have a competition pitching their best ideas for one. I am a celestial godlike creature, but I'm humble enough to say it's God with a small g. I'm Andy Henry. Yay! I'm back. Way! And joining me is someone who is also only 1 inch tall until he walks up and reveals he's 7 feet of northern godliness. It's Matt Rushton.
Yeah, I'm back, baby.
Someone who is naive like a child and beautiful on the inside, but hideous on the outside. It's Drew Toynbee.
Hello. I am Peter. I am ugly.
And someone who took the wrong turn driving home and had to drive through a quantum asteroid field to be here. It's Ross Harmston.
There you go.
That's you going through the field, or was that you just getting comfy?
Affection.
Yeah, that was me warming up.
We are back and we're bigger and our pitches are badder than ever before. We are just like the heroes from the movie we watched this episode. It's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Yay!
Yay!
Yeah.
So is that like badder as in like worse, or
Yes.
badder as in like we are ghetto boys bad, man?
Let's let the listeners decide after the episode, shall we?
Cool. I'm glad it's not us.
So if it's been a while since you've seen Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, then don't worry. We got you. We'll wait here the 2 hours and 17 minutes it takes for you to watch the movie. So go on, crack some popcorn. Have fun. We'll be here. Yeah, I didn't think this through. All right, quick recap. The Guardians of the Galaxy are hired to protect valuable batteries for the Sovereign race, but after Rocket decides to steal some, the Sovereign race almost kill the Guardians until they're saved by a mysterious figure who introduces himself as Ego, a godlike celestial and Quill's father. Father and son bond as Ego teaches Peter how to use his celestial powers, and during a fight between Gamora and Nebula, where the two sisters start to reconcile their differences, we discover Ego is evil. Shock! Oh my god! And he has spread his seed on thousands of worlds, impregnating countless aliens in hopes to take the worlds over. He hired Yondu to bring the children to him, but killed them after learning that they didn't possess the celestial power he needed. We learn that he put the tumor in Quill's mum's head, and so Quill and Ego fight as Baby Groot sets off a bomb, killing Ego and the celestial side in Quill. Quill nearly dies in the explosion, but is saved by Yondu, who sacrifices himself and reveals after finding out why Ego had hired him to save Quill and raise him as his boy. And then during a post-credit scene, we see the Sovereign race leader create a new artificial being that they will use to kill the Guardians, naming him Adam. So if you want to hear our full review and probably geek out on Marvel for a bit, head over to patreon.com/sequel pitch. But for now, we're just going to go around and get everyone's quick thoughts and scores out of 5. So let's start with Mr. Naive. Drew, how'd you like the movie?
Well, I was a little bit middling on this when it first came out, and now it may be because I'm speaking as a new dad, although not the newest dad on the podcast anymore by a long way at this point. This movie absolutely rocks my freaking world. I think it's hilarious. I think it's beautiful. I cried, I laughed, I thrilled, and it's 5 Harbulary batteries out of 5 for me. Hands down.
Big old 5. Get in there. Top of the board. Fair enough. All right, then. Ross.
When it first came out, I was like, yeah. Now, watching it again, similar to Drew, I love this movie. It's got some amazingly heart-wrenching moments, along with the comedy as well. Some weirdly, some really good CGI, and then some not so much good CGI.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I'll if you want to know my fault, then you'll find out in the Patreon. But yeah, amazing performances, great arcs for some of the characters. I'm going to give it... Oh, do I give it a full 5? Do I give it a full 5? Well, the first one would be a 5. So with this one, I'm going to give it a 4.9 out of 5. Yeah, for me. Very good, strong recommendation.
Oh, fucking Drew's trying to hog the spreadsheet and put the scores on the board. All right, then. Are you hosting this episode, are you? Fucking will.
I normally have to do it whether I'm hosting or not.
No, I know. We always you anyway, but hey, I was actually prepared. We've been off for a lot of time. I've had the spreadsheet ready for like 6 weeks. Let me do my fucking job. All right.
All right, yeah, you go for it, mate.
Fuck, I lost it. No, it's here. It's all right. Right, 4.9 for Ross. Matt, don't let us down.
Nah, like the first time I watched it, I was like, yeah, very good sequel. As sequels go, this is how you do a sequel. The more you watch it, the more you pick out on all the little nuances. Chris Pratt's performance is amazing. Michael Rook, I've never really seen him in anything emotional before, and like his development of Yondu was incredible. So yeah, all the heart-wrenching stuff, all the stuff you have to kind of watch, and you kept on the edge of your seat throughout it. It doesn't feel that slow, even though it is a 2 hour 15 movie. I think they filled the time well. So yeah, don't really fault it. Back when Marvel was A-star, it's kind of slipped off at the moment. But back when this was like A-star, S-rank, when it was an S-rank franchise. So yeah, I'm going to give it 5 whistles of mass destruction out of 5.
Nice. Yeah.
Oh shit! I forgot to do the 5 out of shit.
Oh, go on, quick, get in now.
I can't think of one now off the bat. 4.9. Drax throwing up because he doesn't. He thinks that Thingy fancies him.
Oh, poor Mantis.
4.9 throw-ups.
Yeah.
4 and then just like a bit in the mouth and like.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I liked this movie when it first came out. I think when it first came out, people didn't. I don't know if had the problem is the wrong way of putting it, but I think people were like, "Oh, it's not a big like end of the world, end of the universe kind of film. It's more of a character-driven, learn about And I like that anyway. I thought it was well done anyway. So my view hasn't changed anyway. I'm still going to give this. I'm going to be like Ross, I think as well. I'm going to give it 4.9 because I think it's just. I do love the first one, so I don't know if I can give them both 5s. So 4.9 taser faces out of 5 for me.
I actually think I prefer the second to the first. We'll get into it, but
I haven't seen the first in a while, so I don't know. I might now go. Actually, I prefer the first.
Yeah, well, let's talk about it in the review section. But anyway, what was the score? Anyway, Drew. Oh, it's me, isn't it? 4.95.
We're back, baby, and we're slicker than ever.
After taking 10 minutes to argue about the responsibilities of the host,
you forgot.
4.95. Let's move on. A big recommendation for us. I think it's needless to say we're all excited about the third one. Right, I've waited a long time to say this. It's time to get your sequels pitched. Before Guardians 3 comes out, let's hear what our pitchers think it should be about. And then after, just like alien sisters trying to please their overlord, they will battle it out. One winning hosting rights for the next episode, and the losers will get a piece of them replaced with machinery. And if you're wondering if I'm dirty enough to say the loser will have their penises replaced with microphones, yeah, you're right. Microphone penis.
No. This is a family show. It's not. It's not.
Let's start with Matt. Please me.
Ooh, okay. My title is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Surprise!
Yeah.
I do have a subheading. The Road to Nowhere.
Oh. Extra points for a good heading.
Thank you. This it very much feeds off the Christmas special. So
yeah,
people, make sure you've watched that before you watch my sequel. The Guardians and their new base of operations are about to face up to a golden truth and a golden armada. An unlikely ally may be the answer to their problems. Or maybe they're an answer to his. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, yeah. You do your blurb, Matt.
That was my blurb.
Yeah, no. We've been gone long. Drew, just put that in at the right place. Right.
No. It's fine. It's fine.
Take it away, Matt.
Cool. So we open up on a close-up of Quill's tape player with Guardians of the Galaxy Vol 3 on the tape. An energetic chord is playing as we watch a finger slowly reach down to click play. And then we're on the road to nowhere comes in. And we zoom out to Quill and he's really confused. And he suddenly starts flapping and he ejects his tape, turns it round, sticks it in for side B. And then we hear basically a jacked up version of Road to Nowhere. That kicks in. And then we zoom in, see Quill and the Guardians facing off. We zoom out to see Quill and the Guardians facing off against a bunch of thugs and different ragtags and aliens. Basically, this is the prelude, the Battle of Nowhere, and that's going to take place over the credits, showing all the different parts of the alien head, showing them beating different aliens, da-da-da-da-da. At the end of the credits, the Guardians are now claiming Nowhere as their base of operations with the rest of the crew on their ship. Rocket cites that it's that so long as it doesn't bring doom upon them with this power shift. That's cheeky cap to the god Doom, who kills the Celestial Nowhere in the comics. So just thank you. And that he's cool with this as their new base. Drax asks whether he's cleared it with Thor, as he's clearly the leader of the Guardians. Quill is really struggling with this shadow of Thor still in this movie, but that's the only reference we have to Thor. In my bit, the writers can add more. I just bring you the pitch.
He's back.
So at that point, we cut to our first sighting of Adam and Aisha, who are watching the forming of the Guardians base. So they've got some weird camera, maybe. And they see that they're on Nowhere. Maybe it's like a golden bug. So they know where they're going now and need to call to arms some followers. We then zoom out to see them. They're standing on a golden plinth, and it's over a race that are all bowing and worshipping them. And Aisha turns to these creatures with Adam and beckons them to stand, raise their hands, and bow to their new gods. Pandemonium whipping, followed by a montage of them rallying their ships, their troops. And then we see one little lowly native sneak off around some back of houses. Just kind of give the idea that they are recruiting on their journey to take on the Guardians. So back on Nowhere, the team are drinking, celebrating their success, when a woman with some familiar kind of green skin and markings on her, she walks into the bar and she demands Drax tell her where Gamora is. They have a conversation around Gamora's death, Thanos, blah, blah, blah. And basically it ends with them scrapping in the bar and it sprawls out onto the streets. And the lady bests Drax. Drax is clearly quite drunk. And she's about to stab Drax when we hear Gamora's voice. And it's kind of booming voice. She says, Angela! And basically she rocks up and she's kind of glowy and has this kind of cosmic vibe. She's very badass. Rocket at that point swoops in with a ship, some reason, grabs the Guardians and Gamora, and they whisk off just as this woman looks like she's about to attack Gamora. A note to you, Andy, and to the listeners. I'm pulling from multiple sources. Mm-hmm. So one of the sources is Guardians of Nowhere, a comic book series. The other one is Legendary Star-Lord and the Black Vortex, the cosmic powers. And obviously there's all the current MCU plotting too. You'll have to Google it for more details, sorry. So Quill is basically in awe with Gamora this whole time. Mantis feels this and she's like, oh, really loud. There's a bunch of lols at Quill's expense and Gamora smiles, but there's a familiarity to her smile this time around. So that's the end of Act 1. We jump into Act 2 and there's kind of 3 groups. So the Guardians, they're still on Nowhere. They're in a base. They're trying to now find this Angela, this woman, to learn who she is, where she's from, why she's there, etc. Gamora reveals that she's actually a childhood friend, but obviously they haven't seen each other since Thanos took her away. We get in drip feeds through Act 2 that Gamora has all of the dead Gamora's memories of all the characters, all their adventures and whatnot, and it all comes from this cosmic power, and that therefore means that her and Quill can get closer and closer once again. Really nice. We also have a lot of kind of Drax and Mantis relationship moments, kind of really seeing that continuation of that family bond between the two of them. Not that we're kind of building up for anything later or anything, but anything. Anyway, Angela is communicating with someone. We don't know who it is. She's getting frustrated that she feels like she's being used by this person who also seems to have a knowledge of both Nowhere, Gamora, and her cosmic powers. He says he knows someone. And kind of leave it at that. Adam and Aisha, they've unveiled Sovereign and the Allies fleet. They're traveling slowly to Nowhere. Not slowly. They're traveling very quickly to Nowhere, but stopping quite regularly. And they're garnering followers en route, presenting Adam as a god and showing his incredible range of powers and how devastating he can be. We end Act 2 with the Guardians receiving like a live stream video holo thing, and it's a riot on a planet, and we see Aisha and Adam again. They're on this golden plinth, and then we hear the words beckoned, "Join the Universal Church of Truth. Find true harmony and faith. What do you say?"
Motherfucker.
Oh, shit. I mean, let's be honest. If you're taking it from magazines, Magus, who is the evil Adam,
Yes,
is basically the leader of this church. I'm very sorry, Drew.
I imagine we went on very similar Wikipedia paths. Anyway, carry on. Sorry.
Thank you. Sorry about that again. Why am I apologizing? This is fine. Fuck you. I went first. Why did you copy me? Find true harmony and faith. What do you say? That's beckoned by Aisha. And she's nearly struck with the thrown object, and then she kind of mutters the words, "Discord it is then." And Adam begins to glow. He kind of goes into like a negative gold. So kind of like Galadriel does in Fellowship of the Ring when she reaches for the ring. Kind of vibing that kind of thing. And we just see this negative energy burst out of him, and it surrounds the whole planet, killing everything on the planet. And as that happens, it cuts the feed, and suddenly we're back in with the Guardians, and it's kind of like a seamless cut back to the Guardians who've just watched this, and suddenly it's like oh fuck. So that's the end of Act 2. Act 3, I'm giving you 3 acts this film, you're welcome. It's the coming together of the powers. The Universal Church of Truth arrives at nowhere. There's a massive space battle. Numbers again, they're very much outgunned and outnumbered on nowhere, but the valiant defenders that they are, they seem to have the quality, and they're taking the numbers, bam, 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 cutting the numbers down. We see one of the alien fleets turn to flee, and Adam destroys the whole fleet in one wave. One of the races that they've recruited, he just wipes the whole fleet out, which causes both sides to kind of freeze and panic. We've got to move it onto the ground, so eventually they do so. And when he lands, Adam suddenly starts to appear from like some kind of power outage. So it just gives him that ability that he's not going to get fucked over, basically. But he can feel this incredible power within the place that he's in. So he and the Guardians fight. He basically has one fixed route now. He's trying to find the core of this power. He completely disowns Aisha and the church in the process. He's completely fixated on this power core, whatever he can feel now. The Sovereign and co, they all lose hope. Basically, they all just fuck off. A load of the fleets just escape and go away. The Golden Army kind of left there, but Golden Army, that's Hellboy. The Golden Armada kind of like, okay. So then there we just focus on the Guardians and with Adam. And the intensity rises. They're fighting into the core of the Celestial Head. Gamora reveals her kind of cosmic powers on a Captain Marvel level now. She and Adam have a fight. We basically discover that Adam's determined to get to the brain of the Celestial, which is still giving off some core energy. Which he manages to do so eventually, and the second he touches this core, he absorbs it. His power's magnified even beyond what it was and beyond Gamora's. There's a moment where Mantis is holding on to him to try and absorb this power and try and bring him back down. He's about to go and kill her. He kills Drax. In doing so, Drax takes the bullet in the metaphorical sense to save Mantis. The others quite quickly defeated but suppressed. He's keeping them alive because he wants them to become his followers, his kind of like little guardian circle. And at the point of despair, as they all feel like they're beat, a man suddenly appears to Quill, a very recognizable man. It's Kang, the Conqueror, who appears, and he offers him a cosmic cube, which is something, again, referred to in the magazines, in the comics. This cube, it's a celestial cube, and basically, as he holds it up to Adam, it completely absorbs all the power that Adam's just taken in, leaving him completely weak and vulnerable again. But kind of as it does so, it triggers something in him. There's a load of like humanoid empathy and despair that washes over him all of a sudden, almost like we're moving away from one character in the comics to another character in the comics. And he's completely distraught at what's happened and all the blood on his hands. We then move into a funeral for Drax, load of kind of a montage of his best moments for the fans, kind of shown through their memories and thinking of him. We see Adam writing in like he can still form things with his hands. He's just got not the power for destruction and for violence anymore. So he's writing in like a gold book that is formed, and it's names. And we just see these names, and as you kind of zoom out, we see how big this book is. And next to his bed, there's just hundreds of books piled up in this gold. We don't necessarily know what it is yet from the viewer, but for the listener, it is Adam's writing the names of all the people he's killed on every planet and just storing them as this kind of reminder of what he's done. We pan out, we see all that. He's mourning, he's obviously crying. He writes Drax's name, and a gold tear lands next to the name. Then the final shot of the main movie is that we see the Guardians looking out in the mouth of nowhere, watching Drax's body in that pirate funeral-esque quality again, a load of love for him. And then all of a sudden we have kind of like a Lost-style boom, blackout. It's like, boom. And then we fade back up to see Kang holding the celestial cube, and he stares at it and the power within it. And then he looks up, and it's a hologram of like the planet Earth, and he smiles. Then we start rolling credits. Mid-credit scene 1, we just have Groot and Rocket. We haven't really been able to give them much. We haven't really been able to give anyone much in this pitch, but obviously there'll be a load more character stuff. But we have a little quality humorous time together, no implications. Mid-scene 2 is Angela explaining to Gamora that it was some very coiffured Limmy guy who loves Blue reached out after they got into a bit of a tangle, asking for help to locate Gamora and bring her back to Terra. So this is like a super tease. Obviously, we're building up to the Fantastic Four, so that's meant to be Reed Richards and the Fantastic Four reboot. But for the uber Marvel nerds, they may also think it's Beast from X-Men, because he, in the comic series where Gamora gets cosmic powers, Beast also gets cosmic powers because it's the Guardians X-Men team up. So it's kind of like a double tease. But for this franchise, we're teasing Reed Richards and Fantastic Four. Then the end credit scene is Loki and Sylvie watching different screens of all the different clips we've seen of Kang so far, obviously including one of themselves, and they're madly trying to work out which one is the Kang and what's going to happen next. Tease Loki season 2. And I just thought I'd end this pitch with my mixtape.
Oh, so nice! All right,
it's all about traveling. You know, on the road to nowhere, traveling towards Phase 5, and people traveling towards nowhere. So we got Highway to Hell, AC/DC. The Long and Winding Road, The Beatles. Take Me Home, Country Roads, Don Denver. Don't Stop Me Now, Queen. Run to You, Bryan Adams. Runaway, Bon Jovi. Should I Stay or Should I Go, The Clash. Separate Ways by Journey. Since You've Been Gone by Rainbow. Here I Go Again, Whitesnake. We Built the City, Starship. I think that's a good one for Nowhere. Run to the Hills, Iron Maiden. Walk This Way, Aerosmith. Jump by Van Halen. The Boys Are Back in Town, Thin Lizzy. Hit the Road, Jack, Ray Charles, and My Hero, Foo Fighters. I feel like My Hero is probably Drax's funeral.
Oh, there goes My Hero. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good. Interesting. Yeah, I got a couple of questions for you, I guess, then. Gamora's power. Explain this to me, and, where do they come from?
So, going into comic book lore here, there's a celestial... Well, it's the ability to create cosmic beings, these kind of ultra-powered beings called the Black Vortex. It's in the Legendary Star-Lord magazine, and it's basically creating celestial beating heroes, people with the power of celestials, but they're manufactured. So Gamora gets these powers on her travels. We don't necessarily find that much out about them. This is a new Gamora that we're introducing. Gives her a bit of badassery, brings her back in a way that is mysterious, and because this is new Gamora with old Gamora memories, I just wanted to work that in so we didn't have to constantly deal with that every time and have to restart a relationship and all that mess. So this was me cheating a little bit, but I also just kind of had this vision, how are you going to compete with Adam, with the Guardians when they no longer have Celestial Peter? They don't have an Infinity Stone, so I brought Cosmic Gamora in.
Fair, right then. What's the ratio of like comedy to darkness in this film? Is this going to be the darkest of the three, or?
I think you can't avoid. You kind of have to keep the emotional weight of the films now, because the second one ends really emotionally. We see, obviously, Quill has a real rough time of it in Endgame and Infinity War, so I don't think they can be as clean as the first movie anymore. There's still going to be comedy there. I was like, the pitch for me was just about, it's already 3 pages long, and that's me just trying to hit the points of the film. There's naturally going to be comedy within the characterization, within the writing of them. You can have comedy moments with Adam and Aisha at the beginning, but obviously we don't want to take away from the fact that these are world-destroying beings. You don't really have comedy with Thanos, so I wouldn't really want to add too much comedy with Adam and Aisha.
Okay. And old poor Drax catches his fate. Is that just because Batista's talking about not wanting to do a fourth? Well, as well as, is there a fourth in your universe, Guardians?
It's open, isn't it? Like, they finish on nowhere. They've dealt with the Golden Armada, and they've dealt with Sovereign. They've got Adam in a cell there, so obviously there is a call to have, if you're keeping Adam and you're bringing Adam Warlock, who becomes part of the Guardians, there's a door open there. There's a door open to kind of move into Adam Warlock's Guardians if we keep Peter on nowhere, things like that. There's quite a lot of opportunity. It's been left open because obviously contracts are up if you're going to look at the production of it. A lot of the actors aren't signed up to more films after this, so it's up to contract renegotiations, but there's so much scope for how you can move on with them, without them, and it doesn't affect the timeline.
Then, very good. Thank you very much. Rostifer, let's go for you next, shall we?
Okay, here we go. Mine is called Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Horror.
You copied me.
I didn't write blurb, but I can make one up right now, and it's
Go for it.
The gang. The gang. The gang do some stuff.
The gang are back.
The gang are back. They meet an old friend, an old arch nemesis who is doing something for someone else who's got a bigger plan. Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
All right, take it away.
Okay, we open the movie to the blackness of space, replicating the opening of Star Wars. A ship flies over the camera. It's the Guardians ship, and they're being chased by a big Ravager ship or some bad guys. We then get some in-cockpit banter between Peter and Rocket, saying, this would never happen if we didn't drop off the Asgardian guy. Anyway, Peter tries an insane move, but it doesn't pay off, and they get captured. They all are lined up on their knees in the sort of prison or something. I don't know, in the ship. And then the bad guy walks in. They ask him who he is, and he responds, I'm Laserface, Taserface's brother, and you killed him. And it's played by the same actor as well.
That's good.
They all burst into laughter, even some of his own henchmen. Anyway, after they insult him a little bit, they bust out, escape the ship, and it blows up. But obviously, Defo Laserface survives, maybe to have him back in, future installments. As they fly away, they get a distress call from nowhere. They fly there, and they're greeted by Howard the Duck. He tells him that the Collector, after his defeat, and all his collection has gone, has become desperate and has taken on a job. He hired a load of mercenaries and has traveled to Earth for something big to add to his collection. They head to Earth, japing along the way, the typical Guardian stuff, insert some comedy scenes. When all of a sudden, they see a gold man in space hurtling towards them. Oh shit, it's Adam Warlock! Yo! Yeah, they have a mini battle, but eventually they escape him. He looks super pissed. Anyway, they head to Earth, and they think it's something... They probably think it's something to do with the massive fucking celestial that is poking out of the sea. Fuck you, Marvel! Why won't you reference this in your movies? They head down there, and they find that they have tried to enter the head of the celestial. What follows is classic Guardians banter. They all try and plan how they should go in. Peter wants to go in stealth. Drac wants to kill everyone. Rocket wants to blow everyone up. After some time, they decide on Peter's plan and they sneak in and can add some funny comedy hijinks here as well. Eventually, after lots of walking, they end up where the heart should be. We see a gigantic core. We see the Collector and his goons enter the core and, like Indiana Jones, remove something. It's an artifact, which is what Matt copied me on. The Guardians shout to him, and they have a hilarious back and forth. The Guardians learn the Collector's been hired to collect a special artifact with the Celestials core, within the Celestials core. And in return, he can have all the treasures of the universe. Oh, shit, get his treasures back up. They have a fight. Adam Warlock then fucking arrives and fucks them all up. And the Collector, whilst all the madness is going on, gets away. And then we insert a 10-minute chase sequence from Earth to space, baby. Fighting both Adam, the Collector, and the mercenaries. Anyway, Adam Warlock gets overcome by all the mercenaries, Collector, and Guardians. Oh, and he's fucking pissed now. Oh. The Collector gets away, and the team look dejected. They're like, oh, fuck, we've lost him. However, Rocket managed to attach a tracking beacon, convenient, to the Collector's ship. The Collector arrives at a secret base. He enters, and there is a throne. And sitting on the throne is Thrain. It's Thanos' son. Oh, shit.
Oh.
Thanos' son is here, baby. The Collector tells him that he's done his job. Now can he get the treasures? Thane. Is it Thrain or Thane? Thane. I think it's Thane. Or Thrain. I don't know. My autocorrects has changed it to Thane. Snaps the Collector's neck. And tosses his body aside. He cracks open the core and reveals a glowing orb, and he slams it into his chest. He pulses with energy. He does a bad guy speech to, I don't know, some goons or something, but it's mainly for the audience. And he says, "I'm gonna kill the Avengers for killing my fucking dad, yo."
I love that he's northern. I'm gonna kill them Avengers for killing my dad.
It's Sean Bean. It's Sean Bean.
Well, he's dead.
Yeah. In come the Guardians. Oh shit, they arrive. They meet the bad guy. Thrain asks them, hold on. What's going on? Yes, it is Thane. Sorry, I was just checking my notes. Yes. Thane asks them if they are the Asgardians of the galaxy, because he knows that Thor killed his father by chopping his fucking head off. They have like a backwards and forwards. He probably says, well, you're not the Avengers, but I'll kill you anyway. So they have a massive fight, and then Drax is killed. Oh, yeah, Drax is killed because he doesn't want to do any more movies. So we have to get him out of here somehow. Thane leaves to pursue Thor. He learns about Thor maybe in this fight, like from Peter or something, and then the rest of the Avengers as well. Now that he's got this new power, Adam arrives and he's late again. He's like, "Oh fuck's it! Oh fuck you guys!" And he's about to kill Peter. He like fucks everyone else up, and then he's about to kill Peter when the team are already down. But then like Peter pleads with him to help him defeat Thane. And then this can be extrapolated over a little bit more time. I'm just rushing it because we need to get on with it. But then he reluctantly does. He thinks, okay, fine, I will help kill this motherfucker for some reason. They chase after, eventually find him. They have a battle. Peter tries to reason with Thane, telling him vengeance for your father won't get you anywhere, and talks about the loss he's had. Eventually, Adam does the final blow and kills Thane, or maybe wounds him. I don't know. Depends if you want him to come back. He's only just been introduced, so maybe we want to keep him. The Guardians all mourn Drax's death. End of movie. Post-credit scene. Some Kang shit.
That was basically the Quantumanium fucking credit scene. Just some Kang shit. Just throw some Kang shit in there.
Yeah, throw some Kang shit.
So I know in the podcast, in the pitch, you were running obviously a little long, and that's why you didn't go into why Adam Warlock reluctantly changed and stuff like that. But I know you've obviously thought about it extensively. So now I'm giving you the time to. Why would he just suddenly switch around?
Hey, he does. He sees Peter's face and he goes,
"Leave it for the screenwriters."
Yeah, he can find a way. He just, he just looks at Peter's face, sees him crying a little bit about Drax, and goes, "I feel sorry for the little dweeb," and then wants to fucking help him out. Big old guy.
I buy that. So what was the decision to go with Thane, Thanos' son, as the big bad?
Well, I was like, do I make Adam Warlock the big baddie? And I was like, I think that's going to be in this movie anyway. So I was trying to think of another way. I was thinking maybe bring the Kree back. But I was like, no, they've been done. I was like, what else could I do? I was trying to find a bad guy, and then I was like, okay, maybe I'll do something like. It is going to be hard to intro a new baddie. I'll grant you that, in one movie. But they've done it before in Thor: Love and Thunder, and he's not really, we don't have to kill him off. I'm happy for a rewrite to happen if you want to keep him alive. But yeah, I thought that was the best way to go, and not make Adam Warlock the actual bad guy all the way. That have him like the chaser. How I always think of him as the chaser, and then eventually he's still in the movie, and he still has big epic fights and kills some people. But I think I need to get him on the side of the Guardians because I want him in the next movie in their like group. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then have them have adventures. So
he's gonna, kind of take the Drax role, I guess, but not.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I was gonna say Drax. Another poor Drax. He's biting it in every pitch so far.
Is
that as well? Is that just because Batista's out?
Yeah, I think I think there has to be a death in the actual main Guardians. I know Yondu died in 2, but I think there still needs to be a death in the thing to show these guys are vulnerable. And I know they don't do it really in any other Marvel like film. And I think this is the best way to do it, like to show loss, to show that these guys aren't invincible, and they can die by killing off the one actor that doesn't want to do any more Disney movies anymore. Yeah.
I think that's it. I love that you got the 10-minute chase scene there again.
Yep, always got to put that in.
You need that on a t-shirt or something, surely.
I know. I should put it on the back of my red sequel pitch shirt. Insert.
Yeah.
Chase scene. Yeah.
Cool. I think that's all for mine. It sounded probably the same kind of lightness and comedy as in the other two. It's not taking a dark third turn, is it?
No. I think there is a couple of bits. I want the brevity of it to be Drax's death. There still will be character stuff in there. I know that's on fucking Matt's lips at the moment. He's ready to jump in there in the argument section. You've got no fucking character progression in yours.
I held my hands up. I didn't have any in my pitch either. Don't worry.
Yeah, well, there we go.
That's not what I'm coming for you for. Don't worry.
But yeah, like there will still be that opportunity to work on the fact that Quill's not got a father anymore, and Yondu's died, and his newfound finding out of Mantis, and Drax feeling like he hasn't got that vengeance that he needed. Groot learning to be a teenager now, and all that stuff that you can put in scenes of travel and things like that.
Yeah, cool. Lovely stuff. All right, thank you very much, Drew. Take us home, boy. Take us home. What's your title and blurb if you've got it? I remember.
Okay, so mine is. You will be very surprised to hear.
Volume 4. Are you skipping 3?
Yeah, I'm skipping one entirely. It is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And after Thor leaves the Guardians with a dearth of work, They have to reckon with what their lives look like without being Guardians. But with the threat of the Sovereign and their creation, Adam, the Guardians will have one final test of the strength of their bonds that they have forged.
Ooh. And action.
So, cold open on a new world, Cassus, a collection of people who are they're dressed to suggest that they're rulers of the planet, are face to face with the Sovereign fleet. Aisha, the High Priestess, is in front of them and tells them that they face a simple choice: join the Universal Church of Truth or face the consequences. The elders confer and tell her that they worship their own gods. It would be heretical to change their faith. Aisha smiles and says, "Very well, Adam." She steps aside, and in the clouded, storming sky above them, a golden figure floats, glowing. His eyes glow golden and bright. And then we cut to black. Titles, and as we cut to black, we hear electric organ chords going da na da 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 da, and it's Coldplay Fix You. Quill is listening to it on his Zune, which is his MP3 player, which has music all the way up to 2008 or whenever the Zune was around. It was around then, I think. He's looking at pictures of Gamora, who he still hasn't been able to find. The music swells. Quill started singing along really badly. We can still hear the music. It obviously cuts away, and it's just him singing, and Nebula, Rocket, and Drax are all standing behind him. It's very embarrassing. Everyone has lots of jokes. It's very funny. And then Rocket taps him on the shoulder, and he's like, "It's time." They all go and suit up. They're like getting ready for a massive epic mission. But then actually they're just flying around the outside of nowhere, blasting off space slugs that are kind of chewing on the Celestial skull. And they start to get a bit bored, and like it all seems a bit monotonous and mundane. But then Nebula, of all people, turns it into a competition, and actually they kind of have a great time blowing up disgusting, gooey space bugs. And we see the Guardians adjusting to their new life, sort of effectively running a space port. And they're adjusting to varying degrees of success. So Drax, Mantis, and Groot are all relishing their sort of simpler, quieter life. Drax is especially happy running a daycare for travelers' kids at the way station. But Nebula, Rocket, and Quill are all way more restless. The former two have a sort of a feeling of deflation. You know, they were Avengers. They were protecting the galaxy during the blip. And Quill can't stop thinking of Gamora, no matter how much he distracts himself. But Thor was so successful in like bringing godly power to the team. There's just fuck all for them to do, and they're just bored. However, of course, Quill's search protocols looking for Gamora return a ping, and Rocket and Nebula are like, yep, we're coming, absolutely. And Kraglin comes out of loyalty to his captain in Quill, even though he's kind of not super keen on the idea of going. The others elect to stay on Nowhere to keep the station running. They go on the Bowie, and they go to Xandar. That Bowie's the new ship, in case for people who haven't watched the holiday special, because a lot of people didn't, listeners out there. And they go to Xandar. They meet with the Nova Corps. We've got Glenn Close back. We've got John C. Reilly back. That something starts alerting in the background, but Quill goes off to find Gamora. He finds her and they talk, and Gamora's been working as a bounty hunter. She's enjoying her new life, kind of free from Thanos and being the deadliest woman in the galaxy. And Peter's sort of trying to talk to her and persuade her to come. But she's like, no, look, the woman that loved you is dead. You and her were thrown together. You had a specific set of circumstances and experiences, and it became something, but I'm not her. She spent too long in the service of others, and she just needs to exist on her own. And Peter sort of starts launching into this big rehearsed speech, but then people start running and screaming. Nebula and Rocket are with Nova Prime and John C. Reilly when, of course, the Sovereign fleet arrives. Aisha appears and makes the same demand from the first planet, and someone in the background tells Nova Prime that they're detecting the same energy signal that was detected over Cassus with the fleet. Nova Prime tells Aisha that Xandar is not theocratic. They're free to worship whoever they choose, if they choose. And obviously, Aisha doesn't take particularly kindly to this, so she sends Adam down to capture Rocket and Nebula. Everything starts to go a bit Pete Tong. Quill and Gamora head back to try and save them, but they're forced to retreat, and they leave a trail back to nowhere. Nova Prime is executed for not kneeling, and seeing the people being killed, John C. Reilly's character, thinking of his wife and his daughter, kneels and pledges the Nova Corps and Xandar in as the new Nova Prime to the Sovereign, and the Nova Corps kind of joins their ranks. Quill and Gamora get the others, and they're sort of being like, we've got to evacuate, we've got to get out of here. And Adam arrives well ahead of the fleet, and he's just Superman. They can't fight him. Nothing has any effect. He's just standing there, taking whatever they can throw at him and just battering them down. He's rounding them all up to be taken to Aisha, and Quill then gives himself up as he knows he can't do anything without them, but he does activate a beacon on the Bowie. He gives himself up because Adam is just destroying nowhere indiscriminately. It's still full of travelers and civilians and kids. Adam stops when Quill comes out, and we see he is just blindly following orders. His orders were get the Guardians, and he's got them, and he stops. He doesn't destroy the station until Aisha contacts him and tells him that he has to. And he doesn't hesitate. As soon as she says it, he absolutely decimates the place. And a lot of people escaped, but not everyone did. The Guardians are all captured. Quill and Rocket, it all disintegrates. The sort of happy family dynamic absolutely falls apart. Quill and Rocket have a massive fight. Quill is blaming Rocket again for stealing the batteries. All the resentments come out that, Quill became leader, but why? There was no reason for him. Quill still feels inadequate after Thor. Rocket knows that he's changed, but he's ashamed of what he's done in the past. Gamora is sort of subjugated, and that's affecting her. It's all very, very bad. Quill does his best to get everyone back together and come up with an escape plan. It fails, but Gamora, doing her own thing, manages to escape. Aisha rounds them up. They can't find Gamora, and she's like, right, Quill, I blame you above the others. You're the leader of this group. We're going to Earth, and once Earth kneels or dies, then you will all be killed. The beacon on the Bowie finally comes back into play, and we see Sylvester Stallone and Michelle Yeoh following the fleet, all cloaked and hidden. They intercept some communications, and they go ahead to Earth to make a blockade. Gamora manages to get to Adam in his quarters as they approach Earth, and she's talking to him, and she tells him she lived a life of death, murder, and pain, but now she finds herself with a new life ahead of her. She can choose who she is. Adam won't listen. He's a god. He doesn't have to listen. But when she asks him if this is what he wants, or if it's what he's being told to do, he kind of falters and lets her leave. As the fleet is approaching the outer of the solar system, the Ravager fleet appears ahead to stop them. Gamora frees the Guardians as Adam and the Sovereign fleet start to decimate the Ravagers. The Guardians follow Gamora. Peter has to finally let go of trying to be the leader and follow her. They fight through the ship. They make it to the bridge. They're fighting to Aisha, so she calls Adam back. Adam sees Gamora there and stops and thinks for a second, and Aisha has a massive go at him. And as his emotions get more confused, he loses some of his power. And the Guardians see that, and so they go in on him, and Aisha gets angrier with him, so they start winning more, and it's getting really vicious. And they're kind of about to perform the coup de grace, and in the end it's Rocket who stops them from killing Adam. And he has a big speech about redemption and found family, and it doesn't matter how you're made or how much pain or fear makes you lash out, you can choose to be better. And everyone sort of stops for a second, and then the spell breaks, and Aisha's like, well, that was lovely. Kill them, please, now. Kill all of them. But Adam protects them. Everyone else, the Nova Corps, the other people that have been subjugated, seeing that Adam has gone, sort of turn against the Loyalists, and the Ravagers, even though they've been decimated, start to come together, and everything starts fighting back, and the goodies win. Adam takes himself off into exile and penance. Peter, finally, being in the solar system for the first time since he was taken in 1988, decides to go back to Earth to find his family, and goes to see his grandfather. The rest of the Guardians go with him. Hilarity ensues. It's very awkward and funny and very touching. Peter decides to stay. He wants to. He spent so long running away from his mother's death that he wants to be back on Earth, and the others don't feel the same, and so they separate. We get a big montage of families reuniting all across the galaxy. The rest of the Guardians, as nowhere's been destroyed, end up settling on Xandar. Peter stays on Earth, and he's trying to have a quiet life, and he can't do it. And in the end, he sort of says goodbye to his grandfather and takes off and goes back to space, finds them all. They stayed the Guardians, but they're sort of part of the Nova Corps, and everyone kind of has a happy ever after.
Oh, okay.
The end.
The end. Okay. You got any actors in mind for Quill's granddad?
Oh no, he's in the first movie.
Yeah. Oh, is he? You guys have the same person. He's not. He wasn't a recognized face. Oh, right. I thought you were gonna like stunt cast.
Hang on. I know. Oh, where is he? This is not good. Not good radio. Greg Henry.
Points off.
Yeah,
Greg Henry.
Who?
Thanks, Matt. Extra points for you.
Yeah, like you'd recognize. He's in loads of stuff.
Yeah, no, I forgot he was in the first one. To be fair, that's why I thought you were going to put like just a stunt cast.
Yeah, no, I'd get him back. He is still alive. He's 70 years old. He'd probably have to be aged up a bit, to be honest. Like he may be on his deathbed as a character when that happens. But yeah, I like the second movie spends so much time like dealing with the fact that Quill never went back to Earth because that's where his mother died, and I wanted to have that happen. And I think there was a deleted scene from the first movie, or maybe even the second one, that showed his granddad looking up at the stars, like wondering where Peter was.
Oh.
And I don't think it actually made it into any of the films, but that stuck in my mind.
Yeah, fair. Right. So obviously Quill's big thing is finding Gamora, and then he does. Go through your thoughts on that then, and they're ending up where they do. Like,
I loved the way that they did it in the second film, where they don't have the big romantic kiss and embrace. Just Gamora acknowledges that there is some unspoken thing, and this is a universe where souls are like an actual tangible thing that can exist in a gem. And I kind of like the idea of Peter and Gamora being soulmates, but again, giving her that agency and acknowledging that she is a different person, and her needing to, this version of her, the younger version who hasn't seen Quill go through all of that, needing to see him stop trying to take the lead and being willing to step away and stop chasing her. And so I would almost have when they reunite on Xandar at the very end, it be a mirror of what happens at the end of the second film. And it's just a suggestion that maybe they can be together, that maybe there's enough about them that is compatible that it can work, but I wouldn't make it explicit.
Sure. Okay. And then what about, because obviously, it's quite Quill and Gamora heavy. What are all the other kind of characters doing? Like Nebula, Rocket, Groot, how are they? Are they evolving, or not a bad thing if they do just kind of have side roles? But like, and Drax, oh my God, Drax makes it, doesn't he? Yep. Drax makes it. Way. So everyone of that, and are they evolving? Do they go through their own stuff, or are they just kind of there for the comedy and stuff like that? Again, it's not a bad thing. No.
It's. I really struggled writing this pitch. I really struggled with it, because it was so intimidating watching the second movie and being like, oh, fuck me, a real professional screenwriter who knows these characters inside out can do this incredible progression for all these different characters. I am not capable of that for this. Ideally, hopefully, whoever comes in and writes this script would put something like that in, but it is generally that kind of push and pull between them all of, Nebula and Rocket want to be in the action, and Mantis and Drax and Groot kind of are a bit over it.
Yeah.
And they'll fight if they have to, but they don't want to anymore, and how they all kind of find a middle ground between them.
Okay. Nice. Well, that's it for the pictures, isn't it? So, lads, it's been too long since you've said anything bad about each other. So, let's not wait any longer. Tell me why your picture's the best and why the other two sucks. Go for the balls. All right. Who's
All right. Well, seeing as these two have already admitted that theirs don't have any character progression, I will just sort of put that out there and say that mine does have some for at least two of the characters. Mine gets John C. Reilly back.
Yours is an 18. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it is. It's an 18 all the way through. So shut up.
What? So planet universe-wide genocide in Infinity War, not 18 rated, but one planet being shown being destroyed.
You mentioned children in yours, so you mentioned...
I mentioned them. We don't see kids getting blown up. Like, Drax makes sure that all the kids get in an escape pod first. There we go. Sorted. He does the mother hen bit.
The orphanage.
Not an orphanage, it's a daycare. Daddy Drax's daycare.
I think you'll find my Act 2 was filled to the rafters with character development as well. So I don't know what Drew's on about, because Andy even had to expressly say to you, Drew, so there's a lot of Gamora and Quill, and what about the other guys in the Guardians of the Galaxy, not the Peter and Gamora of the Galaxy?
I mean,
so
I made
I
it
feel
very...
like yours is a flawed argument there, but we'll let that one slide.
Like, literally, I also had a section where they've all been captured, and I went through how it's negatively affecting them all and how they're all kind of falling out and trying to work together, and failing.
If you want to be...
saw that one in the second one, right? Oh, that's cool. That's cool. We could do it again.
All right, Matt. Okay, let's go with this. First off, Matt starts off with a tape player, which Ego crushed to pieces. It's an MP3 player now, Matthew. Thank you very much. Also, Deus Ex Kang showing up.
Small details.
Deus Ex Kang appearing out of nowhere to save the day.
See you later. Also,
there's an infinite number of Kangs. Who said he doesn't turn up? He's a very powerful being.
Which Kang is it?
Whichever Kang we want it to be. This is why Loki and Sylvie are looking at the screens going, which
Kang the Conqueror is dead. Kang the Conqueror is dead. The last Kang.
Okay, well, it could be another Kang, the cannibal. Kang the cannibal. Don't matter. I haven't seen Quantumania. Get off my back, man. I'm a dad of twins with a broken knee.
If a variant of Kang shows up in a post-credit scene and picks up the MacGuffin that was used, that the Guardians had to try and get to save the day, that I'm fine with. Having him show up just in Act 3 and be like, here, I come to save the day, and then peace out is not good.
It wasn't to save the day. It was to get the cosmic energy. That was the point. That was why in my blurb I made the point of he saves the day for purely his own selfish reasons.
Yeah, but
he wants to power the core.
He still just shows up from nowhere. It's just... Guardians. Hello, Guardians.
Well, we've got to do something for Kang Dynasty, haven't we? So why not?
Post-credit scene, Matthew.
We can have him in a post-credit scene, then. That's fine.
No, you did, but only there, please. Or have him tied through the whole film.
Someone will turn up then and give him the cube if that's what Andy wants, but it's Andy's decision here. So, because in the comics, Kang does turn up and give him the cosmic cube. I'm using comic book lore.
Oh, wow,
there is reference
You fucking looked on Wikipedia and went
to 1,000,001 versions. I mean, that's kind of what you should do with franchise, Ross. I don't know if you're aware of all the lore. In fact, the Sovereign are very rare because they were introduced in the Guardians and don't have comic book lore. So that was quite cool. But I didn't want to keep doing that. I wanted to refer back to some solid Marvel fandom appeal that is where we got these S-tier films from in the first place. And we use Adam, at least Drew and I use Adam as a bad guy for like an actual portion of the film.
As opposed to Thanos' son that's never been mentioned before.
Yeah.
Who just shows up and then fucking dies.
Can we just have to think about
So
the
does
fact
every
that
other
Thanos'
villain in
son.
every Marvel film.
Yeah,
Every
but
Marvel film dies.
Yeah, but he's a villain who's intricately tied to the big bad of a huge number of films. We've met his two daughters and his other sinister assassin children, and like, where's this dude come from? Like, there's
He was
so
on
much.
vacay. He was having a gap year.
Yeah, we might have a look. All right, we'll do a
On an
Disney
evil gap year.
series. Okay, we'll do a Disney series, limited series about his, his upbringing and where he was, where he went in his gap year, and then how he ended up, on a throne. Anyway, you two had like 15 minutes with your fucking pitches. Yeah, I had at least under 10 in mind. Matt's was like fucking an essay.
You got called out for the flaws in your pitch. I thought I'm gonna give
There were
you
no
a
flaws in my pitch, baby.
detailed pitch.
No,
And you said,
flaws
well,
in
you didn't actually
mine.
get to do this, so I'm going to give you even more time. And even then you went, you might as well just held your hands up and gone, I didn't think about that bit. That's not my problem.
No, I did think about that, just not very much. Okay. I've got bigger things to worry about, yeah? How to kill him off. Yeah, that's my biggest worry.
That I like, good lord, like researching Adam Warlock and being like, what are his weaknesses? And they're just like, nah, doesn't really have any. I found like one tangential reference on a website that is probably completely unofficial that was like, oh, when his emotions become in turmoil, he loses some of his power. I was like, right, well, that's literally the only thing I've fucking found. So that has to happen now. Jesus
That
Christ.
was where the Cosmic Cube came from. I had to work the Cosmic Cube because it's the only thing that I had reference of. They take away evil Magus and leave Adam Warlock at the end. I was like, well, how do I do this? Because he's so clearly a bad guy with no qualities other than he was manufactured to destroy.
Hey, Andy, you should pick mine because I reference the big old head in the ocean, which is the Eternals head, which no one else mentioned. And I also, I don't make Adam Warlock the bad guy. He's a sub-bad guy with a lot more layers that I want to explore later on, not to make him the bad guy murdering children like Drew.
Child murder.
I love it. Yeah,
Drew.
Drew, how dare you blow up nowhere and not any of them? I'm with Ross on this one. I definitely don't do that in my film. But I feel like Ross kind of swerves too far away from the direct setup with Guardians 2.
How?
So, because you just go, Adam Warlock, the guy who's so clearly designed to cause destruction. Yeah, but he's all right. He's all right. We just have a chase scene. He's really
Drew did the exact same thing in his pitch. Drew did the exact same thing.
He has big fights and near destruction and genocide first, which is
I told you
Adam
in
Warlock thing.
In the chase scenes, he's gonna fucking kill people. Okay, when they're chasing, as he's flying, a child runs across the road and he splats into it, and it just evaporates.
The boys style. Now you're an 18, mate.
Yeah.
Now you're an 18.
There you go. So
now you have to pick mine because apparently I'm the only non-18 film. I don't think Drew's is quite an 18 either. But you should pick mine because it has deep bedded roots of Marvel franchises and Marvel narratives. And there may be a couple of little tweaks from someone who has seen Quantumania and seen every film up to this point to be able to make things a little bit better. But I'm giving you little Fantastic Four teasing. I'm throwing back to some series too. Like, think Kevin Feige, you got to have a picture like 4 films ahead and 4 products ahead. I'm giving you plenty of that in abundance. You got so much you can do at the end with Adam Warlock. It's a really open ending where the other 2 are quite clear endings and got different avenues they want to take. I'm giving you Mantis and Drax stuff. We're dealing with the Sisterhood. We're dealing with all sorts. I've just got the complete package for you, Andy. It's what I'm offering.
He's not
the others are
He's
kind
not
of
Kevin Feige. Why are you pitching him fucking TV shows and fucking sequels? He wants to know
because
what
every director and every producer, he's a producer. He needs to know how he's going to get in good with Marvel and get a shitload more work and money from a movie, and I can do that. You two aren't giving him fuck all to make him a career. This is a young upstart producer sat in front of me who is hungry and eager for it like I am, and I'm going to carry him to the top with a fucking S tier Guardians film again.
All right, if we're doing the metatextual stuff, what I'll say is Guardians of the Galaxy in the MCU is James Gunn. James Gunn is now DC for the next 10 years. He is not coming back after Guardians 3. These characters are not tied to the quantum realm. They're not. There's very little that's interesting that we can do going forwards. It's way more interesting to give these characters an ending, which we've had for Iron Man, we've had for Cap, we have sort of maybe had for Thor. Like the MCU is evolving. The Guardians have had their time. Give them an ending. Whilst they're still in the Nova Corps, and you can still get them to show up if you've got the money to get them in for a cameo in the next.
No, don't pick
Drew's. Kang Dynasty.
Don't pick Drew's, because Drew just goes. He does this lovely moment where Quill's like, "Yeah, I'll go home," and then go 10 minutes later. I'm bored now. Actually, I'm going to go back.
That's shit. I'm going.
No, it's not. It's not that it's shit. It's that he needed closure. He goes home. He sees his grandfather. His grandfather gets closure. Peter experiences where he came from, and he it's a cathartic moment, but he needs to be with his new family. He needs to be with his chosen family, and he chooses to go there. I close out Peter's story. I close a story for all of them. I get fucking John C. Reilly back. I've got Glenn Close back. Peter Quill goes back to Earth.
Yeah. None of that's the point.
Hey, I have Laserface.
We have disgruntled Marvel fans, and then you're gonna say, and they all lived happily ever after with a sweet little bow on it. Like,
yeah.
I'm going to DC. I go to James Gunn at that point. I am done with this puppy shit.
All right. Unless anyone's got the final jabs, let's stop it.
I do like Laserface. I'll give you that.
Yeah,
and I do like John C. Reilly coming back. I'll give you that. But I'm still the best one, so fuck you both.
Also, props Matt for getting the Church of Eternal Truth. High five for the anti-religious chaps.
Yes. Well, I can say Drew and Matt, you had very similar pictures in certain places. You all had very good intros. I like the intros. Matt, good intro. Well done for the Life Church. I like the whole kind of trying to conquer. I really like Drax's sacrifice for Mantis. Definitely shows their relationship. A little iffy about Gamora and the power and how it's a bit unexplained. And also, the Deus Ex kind of Kang is a bit like, okay, there's a way to go. Maybe it was set up or something in the
probably wouldn't have used Kang if I knew he was dead. I'm not going to lie. But hey ho.
Well, he's not dead. I mean,
he's not dead.
Yeah. He might still be alive. There's some rumors.
There's an open door. Is all I'm saying. That's
it was it was good. It was. I enjoyed it. Well done. A lot better than your normal work. I'll say that. Well done, Mr.
Russell. Good lord!
Thank God I had 6. Can I have another 6 weeks after this episode, please?
It was just because you were talking about something a minute ago, and I remembered in the last film how not the last one we did. Sorry, maybe the one before where what was the one where your like main character was a mind reader, but we didn't find out until the next movie? That's what someone just said something like that, and I was just like, if it was a bit like a
so I have to drip feed you every part of my film. That's fine. I'll work on that.
It still makes me laugh. There was a mind reader, but we don't find out until the next.
I'm not allowed any mystery in my films. I apologize.
It's fine. It's just where did she get him from? But all right, we'll move on.
I told you. The Black Vortex. I know, but discover that later.
Yeah, I know, but like in terms of the film.
Too late. Too late.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine, but maybe a bit more of a lead or whatever. But anyway, because your Andrews was quite close, I'll do Drew's next. I like the intro. Didn't like Coldplay. Big cross against that. I like the Life Church, like Matt's for the whole kind of like join us or die. I liked Rocket's speech. Well, he was the one at the end to give the speech. Kind of showed his kind of change. Drax's daddy daycare. Yeah, of course. I love that. How could you not? I mean, it depends how long we see, or is there going to be a montage of Quill going back to Earth, or I get where you're going with the closure idea. And I was honestly gonna thought when you went back to Earth, I thought you were gonna make him stay there, and I was a bit like, oh, that's a bold choice. But yeah, I see where you're going. It might just be in terms of closing up. I guess it's good. It's a little. How long do we spend on it? Yeah, is it a montage basically? Do we see him and his granddad? How much time is dedicated to like all this? But anyway, that's more of the script thing. Ross, yeah, like your Star Wars opening. Love Laserface. Love Howard the Duck. Well done. Yeah, Adam Warlock I didn't feel Adam Warlock was as powerful as the other two. He turned up late sometimes, and he kind of was outwitted sometimes. And I like Thane, but maybe not the best overall villain. So, but I still liked it, and it was I don't know if it felt like felt more like a second maybe to me than a third ending film. But it's very close this week. I'm going to give the win just to Drew, even though he had Coldplay. He won me round with kind of the Rocket Speech, Life Church, nice character progression. Even though maybe some of them are for comedy, it's. I get the closure thing and I really like it. It's just how long do you do it for and stuff like that. And yeah, but we could end on Guardians 3 with Drew's and not continue and stuff like that. But there we go. It's win. I know Matt's just about to bite my head off, but you were very close, Matt. It was just, yeah. As I say, I love. It's really hard when the pitches are
who's second and third?
Yeah.
We do that, don't we?
Drew now. Well,
Drew. Well, Matt's second. Fuck you. No, Ross, you're very, very close, but it is. Drew's and Matt's were my favorite. The overall villain. If you had a bit of a backstory to why he was in there in the last couple of films, maybe that would have helped. But what a hard character for everyone to kind of deal with, Adam Warlock. Yeah, literally, you can't kill him. Well done for trapping him and stuff like that, and turning him and stuff like that. And Drew's kind of like way he turned Adam Warlock was just slightly better than yours, Matt.
I mean, I didn't intend to turn him. I just intended to have him as a different character at the end of it.
Yeah, fair play.
Because I've got more money that I want to make out of Guardians, but that's okay. That's cool, bro. You want to close? We'll take
our ideas, DC.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm getting for James Gunn now. I gotta go.
I can't believe the winner has a Coldplay song in their fucking pitch. Well done, Drew.
You fucking picked it.
I know.
The comic effect.
Deliver a better pitch, and I'll pick yours. Right, tell us what we are reviewing and pitching next episode.
So, what I'll say is, I'm especially glad that Ross didn't win.
Yeah.
Because
that didn't play into my voting at all.
Because there's a little film called Fast 10.
Oh yes.
Yes. The beginning of the end of the beginning of the road begins and ends.
The beginning of the end of the road, which
the beginning of the end of the road
doesn't make any. Oh well.
And so, in anticipation of surely one of the biggest cinematic events of the year, of the decade, quite possibly, I want you guys to watch Fast 9 and pitch me your versions of Fast and Furious 10.
Yeah. Oh my
Congratulations, Ross! Bring back the RCU.
RCU. If any listeners hasn't heard our Fast 8 episode, please go back and listen. You're going to enjoy the next episode. I can't wait for our review section. It's going to be about 3 hours long. It's going to be longer than the movie. But yeah, it's just a chance for us to go fucking mental with pictures. I've already got like 7 different pictures, which I'm going to just shove together. It's not going to make any sense. It's going to be like a perfect Fast and Furious movie. Right, so we want to say a big thank you to everyone listening. We are so excited to be back and prove why we're better than the Hollywood writers who get paid millions to do this. Head over to @SequelPitch on Twitter and let us know on the poll who you think should have won and who had the best pitch and what you hope to see in Guardians 3. And go to patreon.com/SequelPitch where you can donate and become a pitch pal. Hey, and get this whole episode and get just the review, the full review section. So Drew adds 3 big fat pitch points to the scoreboard, where at the end of the year, the person with the most points will be crowned Pitch God. It's 2 well-portioned points to Matt and a participation point for Ross. And even though I hosted the shit out of this episode, I get nothing. I would even take a round of applause from my friends.
You did better than you regularly do. Yeah, you presented better than you regularly do, so congratulations.
So just like my belly button, we are outie. It's a goodbye from our winner, Drew Toynbee.
Goodbye.
And runner-up, Matt Rushton.
Bye.
And third place, Ross Harmston.
We're the sequel pitches of the frickin' galaxy. And I didn't say frickin'.
Yeah.
And I'm Mary Poppins. Remember, in times of hardship, we are Groot. Goodbye!
Yeah.
Bye!